We are back 8:10 with a look ahead to one of the biggest nights of the year for both comedy and charity. Night of Too Many Stars airs live this Saturday night on HBO.
Got really big names like Adam Sandler, Chris Rock as part of Robert Smigel's Next for Autism charity. To date, raised more than $24 million for autism schools and services and programs. Jon Stewart hosting the event again this year. He's with Robert's wife, Michelle. Good morning to both of you. Congratulate. You are amazing. You really are.
You started your own applause.
You started this years ago. You have a son living with autism. How's Daniel doing? How old is he?
Well, Daniel now is almost 20. And when we first had him diagnosed, he was about 1 year old. And he was one of these people who had autism, who seemed like everything was on track and then had a regression, which you hear that story often.
And what's interesting about this charity is not necessarily for research. It's about services and helping people live better lives.
So it's all about a lot of different programs do scientific research or they do advocacy. But for us, we really wanted to deal with the people who have autism today. Even Robert and I, who had some connection and some resources, couldn't find our son a school, an appropriate education for our son. And we didn't want that to happen anymore. So we kind of indoctrinated our friends.
Yeah, well, and that's what's so great about Robert and Michelle. So they have Daniel, and there's no real schools in the city. So they start, to advocate for your own child is, I think every parent sort of has that feeling of, to advocate for our own child. The walls that they had to break through, even with the connections they had, even with the finance they had, but for them to then say, well, we're going to advocate for other children, and to spread that out is what I think is so incredibly special about what they did. Everything that they do, a lot of the stuff doesn't necessarily help Daniel. The school they started wasn't really appropriate for him, so they went and they worked on other services and other interventions.
Is this a tricky audience for you? I mean, you're one of the best political commentators and comedians out there, but the people who might want to donate to a charity like this are liberal and conservative, and they go both ends of the spectrum. Do you have to take your material more down the middle for something like this?
I think that the way that the night has always gone is not so much political as it is. So the idea of it is to kind of play with the auspices of a charity. So there's auctions, but they're funny. Chris Rock will come out and break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend for you over the phone.
That's priceless.
That's priceless. So we try to not, it's not really a stand-up show per se. There will be some stand-ups on it. But as far as my job there, it's not to irritate people.
More of a game show host than a than a stand-up,
which is why we got game show host chairs. This is what we're all.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's a Pictionary set right over this way, and we'll look out.
But Michelle, it's often the conversation with autism is about little kids and finding the right school. But here you have now your son is a young man, and I mean there should be focus on that too, being an adult living with autism.
Well, there has to be a very large focus on it, actually. Right now, there's literally in the next 10 years, people are estimating that 500,000 individuals with autism will become adults. And so many of those will be living with their families with no services. Honestly, when education stops for them at usually age 21 or 22, the services stop, but they continue to live. They have full lives. And it's very important that individuals with autism are considered are able to live in fulfilling lives.
And it's also, they're all, there's Daniel's situation, there's other, everybody thinks of it as like, oh, it's like the good doctor. You just have to find a way to get an individual with autism into the right field where they have, savant abilities. Yeah. But, 30% are in a very different category that might need a more intensive intervention, or they may need services that are more intensive. It's a lot.
So someone like Daniel actually is very severe. He has no language. He has a lot of self-abusive behavior. But with the right services that we've been able to find him, he's achieved quite a bit. And what I think is really important is that everyone deserves a fulfilling life and be able to work and be able to be a part of the community and not isolated.
Michelle's going to hate that. They showed me a video, because you think of a triumph as a recital, something like that kids are judged by as they go. They showed me a video of Daniel completing a race, just completing a race. And the look on his face when it was over, the smile that he gave, was a majestic moment.
I need to, while you're here, ask you for your comment on something quickly.
Yes,
Your good friend and colleague Louis C.K. has been accused of and has admitted to some lewd acts involving women. What was the impact on you when you heard not only the accusations but his admission?
Stunned, I think. You give your friends a benefit of the doubt. I tried to think of it in terms of, I've had friends who have compulsions and who have done things, gambling or drinking or drugs, and we've lost some of them. Some of them have died, and you always find yourself back to a moment of, did I miss something? Could I have done more? Or the thing. And in this situation, I think we all could have. And so you feel anger at what he did to people. Look, comedy on its best day is not a great environment for women. I think it's gotten better over the years, but certainly when we started 30 years ago, it was really difficult. And so to do it was an act of bravery in and of itself. The idea that there was this added layer of pressure and manipulation and fear and humiliation that and not just, look, I don't want to make this like Louis was the only one in the business. Like, it's not. It's endemic. And I imagine you walked through 30 Rock, and I think it's a question of we're used to being in charge. And I think if you talk to women, they're in a very difficult position, and you get mad at yourself too for laughing it off or for thinking that didn't happen. And it's hard.
Oh, and here's my question, because I mean, some women in the industry have said, "Oh, this is an open secret." Right. But in this case, you said you were stunned.
I was stunned.
You hadn't heard that.
No, I heard. So a year ago, I was doing a podcast with David Axelrod, and a man in the audience asked me about it. But in the context of that, and I hadn't heard at that point of any of it. So I was, he said, "What do you think about this allegations against Louis C.K.?" And my first response was, "What?" And then joke, and as he kept going, I was like, "Look, I know this is very serious, but I know Louis. He's always been a gentleman, to me," which again, it speaks to the blindness that I think a man has, which is like, "Hey, he's a good guy. What are you talking about?" Digging around in it and finding that some people had done, it was hard, but we were all assured, like, no. But we took somebody's word for it, and maybe that's an error on our part. With drugs, we've tried interventions, and maybe that's something that I just don't.
You talked to Louis C.K.?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
It's a reckoning, in our culture, and appreciate your time and thoughtfulness about it.
No, listen, it's one of those things, it's another one of those endemic, systemic, complex problems that, we all haven't had the urgency for, and certainly myself included. I hope it changes.
Let's leave it at that. Guys, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
For a great cause. Much. Michelle, nice to see you. Say hi to Robert.
It's good. It's good. It's a good cause.
It is good. Night of Too Many Stars, live Saturday night on HBO. Thank you so much.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.